Right, I've given everyone a chance to be back with us. It's been like nearly 10 minutes now. It'll do. Guys, the DSA National Convention just happened. You may have seen highlights of it here or there. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Some of my original thoughts some of my initial reactions, sorry, are sort of just how all of this table of contents, yeah, you're damn right they've been updated, because they didn't do it. They didn't do it at all. Any of this updated convention rules. That's all they did, was just fight about the rules, when they were going to finish. There was a debate about moving the end time. So they debated for ages about moving the end time because they were debating too much. So they wasted all that time, moved the end time forwards, and then just before it happened, they just moved it back to the original time anyway because of all the hard work everyone's done. It's like, oh my God. And the thing is, right, these people want to destroy capitalism. They want to destroy the democracy that we have. They want to ruin everything. They want no bosses, community leaders. And I tell you what, these people are living on cloud fucking cuckoo land. This is, eat the rich, burn the bosses, all that nonsense. But it's like, guys, you can't even organise yourselves enough to just sit and have a conference. That's the takeaway from this. They couldn't even do it without drifting into racist nonsense. Yeah, they didn't really. They got a little bit of this going. Straw polls on proposals. It was so pathetic. It was outstanding how pathetic it was, and the NPC voting was what got me the most. Just to be so unaware of yourself that you're having a huge debate on who's going to be the leader of the NPCs and who's going to represent the NPCs, and it was just like, oh God. I just couldn't even do it. I couldn't even watch Sunday. It's a clusterfuck. I'm probably going to get it on after this show. But yeah, resolutions to debate. They didn't do it. They didn't do any of it. They got to some of it right at the very, very end and all the rest of it. But yeah, they did some amazing stuff. Like, for example, because we might not get to this footage now, but one of my favourite things was they, rather than voting by hand, they tried voting by hand, but because they're cosplayers. Because everything they were doing, the convention, socialism, they're not even real socialists. But everything was cosplay. So when they all voted, and they did against and for and that, nobody bothered to count it. It didn't occur to anyone to do paper ballots. So they did it online. So because they were all voting online, because just putting hands up, no one... They ended up DDoSing themselves, which is where because they all had the same IP. It read it as an attack. And it was great because I saw like the earlier footage where someone says we're under attack, and they're like, it's the alt-right, it's the MAGA arseholes and all this. They're all panicking saying they're under attack. They were attacking themselves because they were all linked to the same IP, all doing the same thing. Pathetic. Astonishingly pathetic. But beautiful. Beautiful at the same time. These are the people that AOC are putting forward. This is socialism for you. Most Americans that want socialism, and there's a lot of them, they just want free healthcare. They don't understand. They don't have any understanding of what it actually entails. And the vast majority of them have no idea how astonishingly incompetent the actual ones are, the actual card-carrying, paid-up members. They've no idea. So let's go on, eh? Let's see what Jacobin has to say about this. DSA is leading the charge. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Socialism is moving from the margins to the centre of American politics. Oh, I hope it does. I hope it does. Please, get it to the centre. I want as many people as possible to see this, to see the truth of it. Not just free healthcare, but like, what they're actually like. The DSA held its national convention in Atlanta last weekend. This was the second convention of the newly reborn post-Trump DSA. Oh, God. drawing nearly 1,100 delegates. This is amazing propaganda. I love the way they're writing it up. I love it. It makes me so happy. The 2017, blah, 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 nobody cares. As a new organisation, DSA's enthusiasm was clear. No, it really wasn't. The power-hungry scumbags at the top that are shepherding these useful idiots, you could see their patience being tested. You could see them standing there. Point of privilege. Point of information. They couldn't say half a sentence without somebody pointing out privilege or whatever. It's fucking stunning. Sorry, I love it. Leaving behind much of its past conservative positions on issues like foreign policy. Yeah, because they just want zero borders. As a new organisation, DSA's enthusiasm was clear, but the group did not have enough shared history amongst new members to share a common language about the state of the organisation. You are so full of shit. What is this? Share a common language? As in they all needed to get on the same page, did they? There was quite a few calls to stop the debate. There was quite a few calls saying we all agree, so let's just vote yes and move on. A lot. Common language. How creepy is that? Well, when we have a look at it in a second, you'll see exactly how creepy it is about the common language. Fuck you, people. Now in 2019, DSA has grown from 2,500 to 60,000 members. 60,000 absolute retards. And I mean that in a literal sense. They are retarded mentally. They have to be. There's no way you could see this and be sound of mind. There's no way. Or you're one of the, here we go, 175 chapters, so I'd say there's about 300 power-hungry, manipulative scumbags at the top of it who think, yeah, we'll get there. We'll use these pronoun-obsessed freaks to get into power. Going into this convention, this is back to the story, there was some political questions to sort out, but as I wrote before the Atlanta gathering, I believe that there was a political agreement on most policy positions. There really wasn't. Thanks, Rebecca Pope, for the subscription. I do appreciate it. The principal issues and animating the convention were the problems DSA had encountered in trying to build its organisation. Blah, 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 blah. With the unevenness that exists between chapters, geographies, and big tent political positions, conflicting perspectives about the nature of those organisational problems, real or perceived, has led to opposing solutions on how DSA should be structured. What he's dancing around here, is it Andrew? What Andrew is dancing around here is whether or not they should involve themselves with Antifa tactics. I mean, they already are, but whether they should officially do it. That's what he's dancing around here in terms of how it should be structured. Some idiot wants 5% of the budget spent on disabled inclusion, which they couldn't even agree on what that would mean. They literally could not agree. They had an autistic person for, an autistic person against, just bickering away. Because obviously if you're in a wheelchair, you couldn't possibly get in touch. You couldn't possibly have amendments made for you without a creepy team just surrounding you and checking your privilege and all that. Oh God. Oh, the low barrier to entry for DSA members has allowed it to sop up the new activists' interest in socialism, but the expectations of new activist members have been greater than the resources DSA has to support so many new socialists. Oh, piss off. Piss off with your propaganda bullshit. Eco-socialism, the Green New Deal. There was an overwhelming consensus that DSA must be an eco-socialist organisation. There was. People just got up endlessly parroting it. We need to stop the imperialism and it's gonna piss off. Committed to building an anti-capitalist Green New Deal. There we go, anti-capitalism. Isn't it weird though that the most capitalist countries are the cleanest ones? Isn't it weird how that works? that if you give people freedom and you build wealth, they then have the luxury of mind and the luxury of time to actually make space and do the right thing. Isn't it weird how that goes? Isn't it weird how disgusting and filthy socialist countries are? I don't mean like messy. I mean crumbling, gross. That's the ones that if they've not slipped into absolute dictatorship, which is inevitable with socialism. Isn't it weird? These spoilt rich pricks are just like, well, we need socialism because that's how we sort things out. And it's like, meanwhile, the rest of us that value freedom are doing what we can. Fucking Green New Deal. This whole thing, and they said this a lot about how the ecological threat and all that was other nonsense. And it's like, the only thing you can do with there, because they're like, it's not about individual choices, we need to be doing this on a global scale. And it's like, well, it's war. You're talking about war then, aren't you? You need to bomb Brazil's major cities out of existence, vaporize them, and then allow the jungle to take over. They'll stop fishing, they'll stop growing. I mean, obviously then we'll stop getting the resources that are keeping everyone alive, so we'll have a knock-on effect of destroying our own economy, which is why this isn't as simple as they try and make it out to be. Green New Deal, we'll just reshape the entire economy. We'll just redo it. Don't worry, we understand, we know how to do it. We can't run a convention without people, jazz and freaks, getting triggered beyond belief just because somebody was feeding their baby in a quiet room and the baby made a bit of noise and they were like, this is the quiet room. They can't even handle basic human life skills. But don't worry, they've written an 11-page document that's going to save the fucking world. Idiots. Jesus Christ. Absolute idiots. I can't even with them. Right, let's watch some of these clips before I jabber on too much anyway. I might be here a while, actually, because some of these were just stunning. I was just... Oh, I'm on the wrong... Wait, what the hell, man? Where's it gone? Where's my list gone? Where's my list? Oh, there it is. Phew. Day one. Let's go to the start of day one. No. Oh, my God, I've got too many. Far too many. Oh God, yeah, so good. Right, is that really everything? Fair enough.
Welcome, delegates. Welcome to the 2019 Biennial Convention of the
Can you hear that?
Democratic Socialists of America.
Oh, clapping and cheering. No.
Yes. My name is Chris Riddio. I'm chair of the NPC.
Chair of the NPCs.
One, we are requesting that everyone use ASL applause.
There we go. ASL.
So everyone can
American Sign Language.
Get some joy in those hands. Yes, fantastic.
Now here's the thing, man. I'm going to say about this. I mean, they break this straight away. And they're all shouting. They're talking about like not triggering people because of the sounds. But then, if you've got sensory issues, right? And why are you tailoring this? You're talking about changing the entire world here, and you try. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me. There's not a leader amongst them. But if the sounds of clapping would trigger someone for a start, they need to go and listen to a whole heap load of clapping and build themselves up and get themselves better. Not expect the world to bend and crush and all that. I used to get triggered badly, seriously, by cotton buds. My daughter got burned. That's what they did to check her skin. They used to fuck me up. I used to look at one and it used to freak me out with a fucking, like, I could hear her screaming, Daddy, no, Daddy, all that horrible, terrible things. And I mean, that used to trigger me in the most literal, true meaning. Like, it really triggered me. Am I going to demand that none of you discuss cotton buds? None of you ever have them, before I come to your house, there's little texts off Soph going, oh, just make sure you don't have any cotton buds around. Just hide them, because it triggers him terribly. No! it was my problem to deal with and get better. And as Ian's just Trigger One is just pointed out, what if I have arthritis? You're triggered. What if you're there looking and suddenly a whole sea of hands going like that could just as easily trigger you? And the best part is, it creates fucking chaos. This hands thing is socialism in a nutshell. We'll assume the worst of someone, because it's never someone who's actually affected that's advocating for this. It's always some well-meaning, rich white person that's just fucking, well, we need to think about the poor, blah, 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 because they've got this weird white savior BS going on. Because everyone's going like that, no one can put their hand up to speak, which is why they go point of privilege, point of information. But you just create this system where everyone's all over the place shouting, they don't know where they are. They get rid of clapping, and it just creates chaos, because they replace it with putting your arm up, which is the age-old symbol for I'd like to say something, please. And it just creates chaos. The whole thing falls apart instantly.
To that, we do have a quiet and moderate room on the Piedmont floor that are accessible on these elevators. The moderate room is Piedmont 7. It will have a soundless stream of the proceedings in here.
Don't you love that?
The quiet room is Piedmont 8.
Can you imagine going all the way there? Can you imagine going all the way there, sitting in the quiet room? I mean, come on. Just don't bother sitting in the quiet room and watching a soundless stream of proceedings. Just sitting there. I'm safe.
It will be completely quiet with no live stream. In addition to that, we have a chest feeding room on Ainsley 7 and Child Watch on Ainsley 8.
In just the last 2 months, here's a handful.
There we go. Let's go with 6 minutes, like I said. There
Middle Tennessee.
As much as you can, because we need all the help that
These
we
are
can
the
get.
youth pricks.
YDSA has been tremendous.
My chapter is Silicon Valley, DSA.
Silicon Valley.
Am I recognized?
Yes.
Okay.
Check this out. You see that? Am I recognised? That's because he knows how these things run. You're supposed to have a chair that recognises people. To my memory, that is the only time, right? Because he says, am I recognised? And that's the only time that there's that segment of how these proceedings should run. Like, they just don't know. They don't know. And, fuck capitalism, fuck the system, fuck everything, fuck democracy, fuck how it all works. It doesn't matter. We're going to do it our own way. But there's a reason for certain procedures. You can not be a full-blown conservative Christian whatever, far-right super whatever. You can still understand that people do things a certain way for a reason. Including recognising someone when they speak. Like, just listen again.
Am I recognized? My job
hear that?
chapter is Silicon Valley, DSA. Am I recognized?
Am I recognised?
Okay.
He's like, because he kind of knows how these things should go. And he goes, yeah. And that doesn't happen again for the rest of the convention. No one gets recognised. It's chaos. Pure chaos.
The reason I raise the objection, the point of personal privilege affecting the entire assembly, is we're not assembled. All of our delegates have the right to attend the assembly, and their right is presently being infringed.
It's not rights, mate. You can't infringe someone's rights. You don't have a right to... Oh.
Because of the dilatory nature, we were not able to give voting cards early this morning. Some people couldn't even register until after breakfast opens. So people were getting ready really late. This
started at 11! Oh no, sorry, my mistake. 9 a.m. So yeah, fair enough. But yeah, don't you love this guy? Right from the off, he's just like, you can imagine the chaos, can't you? They had the opening and breakfast and all the rest of it, and it's just chaos. And straight away, he's just there saying it. And that's, to be honest, I would say go and watch this DSA convention day one. Just soak it in. Soak in all 3 days. It's phenomenal. I'm just going to show you a few choice highlights here. But it's worth just understanding the pure, complete falling about chaos of these people who want to be community leaders, who want to eat the rich and ban the bosses, kick the bosses out, and make everything run like this. This is how they want the world to be run. This is how they want businesses. Once they've seized the means of production, this is their idea for how they should run. They can't even have breakfast without someone, and I'm assuming he's representative of everyone, or of not of everyone, of a lot of people there just going.
Read several reports that are not relating to business, and I think we can give our delegate chairs some time to get the voting cards. You may have a quorum or not, but that's not the basis of the objection. The objection is you're infringing on the right of our delegate chairs to attend the meeting.
It's not a
and
right.
If you want to suspend that rule, then you need to suspend it through Robert's rules, which we're under right now.
Look at him.
Hey,
look at the chaos.
Privilege.
These power-hungry fucks. Like, what have we done? What have we done?
Can all delegates use a microphone when doing these things? If
spoke
you
my
get
own
near a
joke.
microphone, it's really unfair to people who can't hear you when you're yelling these things out. Thank you.
Point of privilege.
It's so good. It's so good. Because they're like, why are people yelling things out? People are yelling things out because you've replaced putting your hand up, because you put your hand up and someone comes with a microphone. You've replaced clapping with that, so no one can put their hands up, so they're all just shouting out like freaks. Now, we're going to find out later, and it gets amazing by day 2, that they create a queuing system. Now, the queuing system is phenomenal because they use the progressive stack. And if you don't know what the progressive stack is, it's the more intersections of oppression that you have within you, the higher up you are in the stack. So if you're a straight white male, you go to the back of the line. Yes, they are judging people based on their skin colour. Rather than just have a queue, they have a progressive stack queue. So you'll be standing there waiting to argue against something that was actually said 10 minutes ago. And someone keeps coming over and saying, "No, sorry, there's a black lesbian behind you. You're gonna have to come out." And you're like, and it just falls apart. The whole thing falls apart phenomenally.
A parliamentarian, so.
Before we move on to, sorry, this is like way high. Before we move on to the next discussion, I would like the body to take a minute to do a land acknowledgement.
A land acknowledge. This is it. They can't. I'm not even gonna. They just say thank you to the people and all that. They can't even get started. This is it. This is literally the whole thing. The whole thing. Next highlight here. This is the first Black Lives Matter person. I've cut off the beginning of it there because it's just 11:09. Yeah.
We're now fighting the prison industrial complex, especially here in the South.
See, I liked that, right? So, in fact, let me give you the context. So we'll go back a little bit. So he says a few things here that I just don't agree with, but then he touches on the prison thing, which is a good one, which is good. It's an important thing. It is, and it's a valid point. And I think it's non-partisan as well. People all over the place don't like private prisons. It was a big mistake. We're getting it here in the UK, and it's been a mistake consistently.
You warned us about the triple evils of racism, capitalism, and militarism.
Capitalism, the freedom to own property. That's what capitalism is. The freedom to own property. Don't forget that.
Still fighting the military-industrial complex. We're still fighting the capitalist industrial complex.
The what? The capitalist industrial complex. You've just put those words together, haven't you? To go after the thing there. There is no capitalist industrial complex. there are industries like the military industrial complex. That is a perfectly reasonable thing to say. The American economy is to some degree dependent on its ability to fight wars. Its capacity of having an army that's as big as, is it like the next 30 armies combined? America is dependent on that. There is a military. There is no such thing as a capitalism industrial complex. That doesn't exist. You have industries with it, within capitalism. Yes, I own myself. Jeff Bezos owns himself and his labour and his time. He also owns a hell of a lot more than me. And that's fine. That's okay. You could talk specifically about Amazon. Are they having a good, bad impact? I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? You can talk about that, but you can't talk about capitalism as a whole. Because unlike socialism, capitalism isn't an overarching way to structure the world. Capitalism is a seed. It's an individual thing. Capitalism is the seed that the ending of slavery in the Western world was born from. It came from capitalism directly. There's a straight line. As more and more people own themselves, own the time, we had more and more respect. I mean, because I hate this narrative that slavery's ended. Slavery still exists, by the way. It never went. We call it modern slavery. No, it's slavery that is still slavery. It still exists. And the places that have got rid of it, America being the forefront of which, are just beating themselves sideways. Which is just nonsense, ridiculous. Get the fuck over it. Get over it. Whatever your skin colour is, just America needs to get the fuck over slavery. We pretty much did. There's a few grifters here and there that try and do it, but we're over it. We're over it. No, there's no black people here that are worth listening to, or David Lammy maybe, that are sort of going on about reparations. Just get on with your fucking life. But then again, we don't have as new as country as America, so you can't get away with the whole like, oh well, black people had it, because it's like we were all TERFs. We were all owned, every one of us. My ancestors are Irish, so there's no fucking argument there of like, oh, come in here, are you? You're a rich white bat. It's like, no, man, from fucking Ireland. We were the white Negroes at one point. But well, I didn't, not Negroes, but the other word, obviously. I don't want to say it. Getting in a lot of trouble from YouTube at the moment. I don't want to say it. But yeah, there's an interesting thing with this guy, so that's why I've got it.
We're now fighting the prison industrial complex, especially here in the South. But there is another complex that we need to fight, and that is the electability complex.
So just one person clapping. Someone will have gone, no, jazz hands. Jazz, what are you doing? And the great thing is I've cut a couple of them out where people start clapping, and then people tell them off for clapping, and then people tell them off for talking. Chaos.
We have colonized even our language so that we don't talk about up and down. We talk about left out.
This is what gets me. This is what freaks me out here, man. They've got the language. You will have noticed at the beginning people just introduce themselves. I think I've skipped over it now, but it's established that you have to give your pronouns, and they all follow through. They all know that they're in the same club, the same group. You know, it's kind of scary. It's terrifying, actually. It is. It's a religious cult, and the way he says here in terms of colonizing language. They've colonized language. What the problem I have with this is that there's the assumption then. What it is it lays the groundwork of well they've colonized language, so we have to colonize. We have to do something about it. You know, we have to make inroads on, like for example, forcing you to say your pronouns. Like for example, not using gendered language, which is hilarious. Like they're not using. They call each other comrade. That'll come up later on because one too many people says sir or madam, and it just triggers too many people, and so they just switch to comrade. So everyone's standing up and saying he, him, she, her, they, them, she, they. What? So they're all standing up, giving their gendered pronoun or lack of gendered pronoun, and so it's like, oh, I'm a he, but don't you call me he. Don't you dare call me he. It's like, what? And this is the thing about their thing of language. There's an inconsistency there that any reasonable person, it's just like, what? But if you follow that rule and you fall in line, then they know that you're in the club. They know that you're part of the religion. They know that you're an intersectional racist.
But they have colonized even our language.
See?
So that we don't talk about up and down. We talk about left and right. And now it's become even more abstract. We talk about red and blue. The people in
What's the clap? What's the clap there, you postmodern freak? Wait. Make a point. Make a point.
in this room are going to dismantle the electability complex.
It's all about dismantling, isn't it?
And let me tell you how. We're going to run candidates, and we're going to win. Foreign or
yeah, all right, whatever.
And this young lady, who is the daughter of a pimp and a sex worker.
Oh yeah, there was a weird obsession with sex work. Weird obsession. They were going to vote on it. Not that it makes any difference to anyone on the planet, but they were obsessed with sex work, and it was great because it brings out that intersectional, the victim thing, isn't it? Because there's no sex workers. That it's all people talking about sex workers who were raped, who were abused. No proud no people like me that just mate, I love pimping. I love pimping. It's awesome. I'd rather you stay out of my way.
Her parents have been on drugs.
But it was the only thing that shut them up.
Now in a PhD program at Georgia State University, and she's studying black habitus and imposter theory syndrome, and she is so necessary to this academy. There is no other voice like hers in this academy. She was going to take her comps, and she was really worried about it. And I said, everything that you haven't studied, you've already lived.
Oh mate, if you were a sex worker and now you're studying this crap, then you were better off. You were better off there.
And so you are valuable. So I can't discard her. We're going to have to work out this rent situation, but I can't discard her.
There we go. Look. Right. I love this, right? Because it's an actual black man, because it's a very, very white thing there. Because it's an actual black person, they just sack it off. They just sack off these ridiculous rules. Because I think they're just so happy to finally have a black mate that they're just cheering, clapping. It's all gone. It's all done. Listen. Well, there we go.
Point of inquiry.
The autistic person that you weren't clapping for is just about to kill themselves. Well done. They're off in the quiet room with the muted video, but it still triggered them. Hypocrites!
Point of inquiry.
You can't even last one day in your own... with your own ridiculous fucking rules. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Ian has said, the staff in UK's private jails are scared of the inmates. Fact state screws took no shit and still turned a blind eye to harmless vices. That's the thing in prisons, man. We've got all this talk now about making them non-smoking and all that. And it's like, ultimately, though, you need to give them a little bit of fun in there, don't you? People are like, oh, how did these drugs get in and stuff? And it's like, well, let's be honest. They aren't all going to be going in there and just studying and getting ready to come out a new man, become part of... No, some of them it's easy just to let them get a bit wrecked, isn't it? Happy Dog has said, a bunch of sweaty incels that can't decide which bathroom to piss in, interested in sex workers. What a surprise. Yeah, they're very interested. Obsessed. Oh, we got Sidewalk closed. Hello, sir. You all right? I can see you there, giving Happy Dog a bit of love. I love Happy Dog too. Mwah. He's amazing. He's so beautiful. 1440. Right, let's skip forward again. 14. Which bit was this?
College saved me. My blood saved me. So my grandfather hadn't talked to me for years, and he called me that morning, the second morning of the strike, and he said in muddled English, "Don't give in ever. You fight alongside your union and your community. You're the right in this wrong, and you can do this." I slipped on my portable radio, my Doc Martens, and I handled it. It is what it was. It was amazing.
But conservatives are doing much more than just deregulating. Reactionary forces around the globe are laying the conditions for eco-apartheid.
Eco-apartheid? Is that that's why I've not need this one yet. I can see now. Because a lot of my time codes are 10 seconds afterwards, because I've watched it in time code and I'm about 10 seconds. This was 2 seconds, because I just went, yes! Eco-apartheid! What the sweet fuck are you talking about?
In which working class and racialized people suffer the worst consequences of climate chaos, and the wealthy band together to protect themselves. ICE and Border Patrol is right-wing climate policy, as is Fortress Europe.
This is yeah. What? ICE is right wing. What? It's like a jumble of just buzzwords, isn't it? And here's the thing: it is legitimate brainwashing. And I'm not saying the DSA are the only people. Everyone does this. Everyone does this. Boris gets up and gives buzzwords to excite his crowd. Everyone does it. But right now, let's just listen to this.
Band together to protect themselves. ICE and Border Patrol is right-wing climate policy.
ICE and Border Patrol is right-wing border policy. What? Just having borders? That isn't left or right-wing. Jesus Christ, man. See, she's forgotten, hasn't she? She's forgotten the socialists that came before her, that used to go down on the border and kick the fuck out of any immigrant that tried to cross, because it depressed working class people's wages. There's quite a lot of it. I don't think I've got any of it tagged, but there's a lot of people here going on about how we need to both recruit the working class, represent the working class, whilst also saying we are working class. It's like, you can't have it both ways. If you were, you wouldn't need to have that conversation about representing and recruiting them. But yeah, she's forgotten her roots, hasn't she? Bless her. She's odd, because that's what they're all so obsessed with.
As is Fortress Europe.
Fortress Europe? No. Fortress Europe. That actually hurt my balls. I felt them just go, oh, it's like, oh. It's like I've been sat on my saddle for Fortress Europe. Left, right, and everyone in between all agree that there's high immigration. It's not a fortress. Everyone agrees. Some people say there's too much, this is bad. Some people say there's a lot, this is great, we need more. Everyone agrees there's a lot, though. There's no fortress. Oh, that really got my balls, that.
I'll give one more round of ASL applause for our fantastic speakers. We are so lucky to have you in the Socialist.
The first thing that we have to talk about.
Oh, this guy. This is the guy. This was probably my favourite dude. Just soak him in. Day 2, he loses the jacket. And this dude, without his jacket, is just phenomenal. Perfect. He obviously thinks one day he's going to be thought of just as was Shay. Probably literally. He probably wants to be a murderous, oppressive, power-hungry scumbag whose image is used without context. And hopefully nobody will know the truth. Because by any means necessary, by any means necessary. Oh, God.
Is accessibility. We have a lot of disabled comrades, and a lot of those are invisible disabilities. You don't know who it is that is having a more difficult time navigating this.
Can you imagine having a disability and having people... This guy says this, but then they have a whole motion. They debate it for hours. Hours. Right. Imagine having a disability and having people just go on about it all the bloody time. All the time. Some of them are invisible. Yeah, they are. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like let's give an example, yeah? Because you can't... And they discover this, and some of them realise this. You can't tailor an area around disability. as a banner, disability access or whatever. You can have a few ramps around there. They're the easy ones and all that. But if someone needs to go to the toilet quite suddenly, then they're gonna have to deal with that as an individual. But no. We couldn't possibly respect their autonomy. They're down there. They're oppressed. They're a victim. So we all need to go out of our way to do something about them. They can't just sit near the loos. They don't live with this every single day. And the problem is that these people they infantilize these conditions so much that some of the people who are there within it, that live in this crazy, messed up bubble that they live in, they're there. I've got my disability and it needs to be, and blah 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 blah, and I need to be heard and all that shit. And it's like, go fuck yourself.
Space in this space.
Everyone's got problems.
Was not created with all of their needs in mind.
It's physically impossible to create a convention centre with the needs of every single disability in mind. It is physically impossible. This is why these people tank economies when they get in control. Because they make these kind of demands, because you can't just deal with an individual and an individual thing. They're just like, money just grows on trees. Money, resources are infinite, which is hilarious because they're constantly telling us that they aren't. but as far as they're concerned, for their needs and their wants and wanting to put... no, you deal with the individual. If you've got a problem, get in touch with the centre before you arrive. That's how you do it.
It's up to us to modify that space to make sure that everybody is able to move in the ways that they need to move. What this means is that, first of all, in this room, I see that no one's clapping for me. It could be because I'm not engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this. And that's really important, because those loud bursts of noise, even though this is a noisy space, when we can do something...
Even though this is a noisy space. If you are so triggered by that level of noise, why are you there? Why are you there? Send someone for you. There's the way to do it. Because if you're that triggered by just clapping, if your exact disability is right on the line there, where you can be around 1,000 other people who are all talking, shouting, aggressive, challenging each other, because there's a lot of aggression in the room, there's a lot of frustrations and difficulties. Somehow you can ride that perfectly, but clapping is the thing that sends you over the edge. That's the one thing there. It's nonsense, isn't it? How could you... who are you dealing with there? Who are you adjusting yourself for? Because if you're going to take all these... they can just about manage that, but that's the one thing that just sends them over the edge, right? And it doesn't help. Half the people getting up for this convention are there going, yeah, one person claims to be having a fit as they're talking. They're just stood there. And it's like, you don't actually know what a fit is, do you? You've not got epilepsy at all, mate. I'm having one right now, actually. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're an attention-seeking retard.
Something like reducing that's really important. So please don't clap, shoot up these. And additionally with the noise issue, like avoid hissing, avoid waving banners, right? Because there's all sorts of things. If you don't know what to do, show up these, right? I'm sure there's lots of ways that we can communicate.
How's that? Avoid banners, avoid hissing. Right, so when they turn up at other people's events, they know if this is in their mind, and they do avoid banners. They're not putting banners up in front of people and stuff like that. This just makes me actually move from mocking them to hating them, to the point where they will go to other people's conventions, they will go to other people's events and specifically do exactly what they expect of each other. They won't show other people that kind of respect. What happens when people with that attitude are in charge? Hey? They won't show you the basic enough respect to just let you speak without hissing. And they understand it as a concept, but they won't show it to you. What happens when they're in charge? Well, the same thing that always does, eh? Millions upon millions of people die.
To each other without needing to rely on something that's going to hurt somebody else. We have quiet rooms that are available. There's a range of options of these, right?
We know!
There's one that has video but no sound. If you still want to be able to observe the convention, but the sound is an issue. There's also in Piedmont 8, a completely quiet room. One thing to note there, please don't go into that space with anything that's like an aggressive scent, for instance, right? Because
I bet there's quite a lot of them in that room. Baths are for the patriarchy.
It's going to be difficult for people, and whether perfumes or anything like that. So, in addition to this collective security, we need to be working on consent, right? We don't. The principle of collective security is we don't want to put people in stressful situations that they don't consent to, right? And we have to be accountable to each other that our actions might have negative consequences for other people. You have to have your credentials at all time. We're not.
They see that thing about the consent thing. I get it, at its core, yeah. But surely at the point where you buy tickets for a convention, for this environment, for debate, this is a debate environment, supposedly. A debate and vote environment. Surely at that point you are consenting to be in a debate environment. You're supposed to hear things that you're not necessarily going to agree with. Otherwise it's not a debate, is it? Not that they really do debate. They don't understand the meaning of the word, really. And I get it. I get there's kind of a good thing there. There is. There's at its core there, it's don't be an arsehole, isn't it? But it's kind of taken it to an insane level where nothing happens. Nothing happens. This is it, by the way. This is an hour-long highlights video of day one. Nothing happens.
Trying to be jerks, but there are right-wing infiltrators who are trying to get in here, and the way that you enable...
You're streaming it. You are live streaming it. Right-wing infiltrators. Jesus Christ. They don't really... to them, everyone's right-wing. They don't even represent the majority of the left-wing. But
us to keep them out is by making sure it's very easy for all the marshals to...
But that's fair enough. But this is fair enough, okay? This is fair enough, yeah? Don't talk to people without... Okay, fair enough. Basic security. I get it. I accept that. To do a sort of positive reading, you don't need to bring the right-wing thing into it. Just anyone. Just this is a specific space. We don't want people... Okay, fine. I understand that. I respect whatever. We'll move on.
To see those. Don't really talk to anybody who doesn't have a credential.
Now that is scary. Don't talk to anybody who doesn't have a credential.
Especially if they claim to be from the press. You have no idea who that person is. Please do not talk to anybody who identifies themselves as a member of the press.
Do not speak to anyone who identifies themselves as a member of the press. Is that not terrifying to you? It's scary to me. Why not? Spoilers, he doesn't explain why not. I want to know, can you imagine being sat there with your jazz hands and just accepting this? Nobody interrupts this part. When they try and actually vote on sex work and Green New Deal and all the rest of it, when they try and debate it, constant interruptions, constant points of privilege, never ending. And the interruption gets debated on, and as they start debating on the interruption, there's another, and it just spirals off and off and off and off. That's why they get nothing done, because they just keep... But nobody interrupts this. I have a question. Why? Why are we not allowed to speak to anyone? Why? Because I've known people from all over the political spectrum that are happy to talk. So why are these people so closed? I mean, I know why. It's so that they can indoctrinate and brainwash you without any outside interference. That's exactly why. And they know that they're going to be mocked. Look at this fucking...
Without having credentials. Don't talk to cops.
What? Don't talk to cops. This is going further and further off the deep end, isn't it? It's like, don't talk to press. It's like, all right, that's a bit authoritarian. Don't talk to cops. Jesus Christ, man. Like, why not? I mean, well, it's because half of these are Antifa. There's a big thing here. There's a big running theme. And I won't show you all of it because they never outright say it. But half of them are Antifa and half of them are not. Because the other half of them are like, well, we're getting called terrorists. They all believe in it, but they're like, we're getting called terrorists here. And the other ones are like, yeah, we need to make Antifa bigger because they want to make it a centralised thing. And part of the nonsense defence for Antifa, and it is a nonsense, is that they're decentralised. It's just lots of people just happen to be doing the same thing, although now they've got a convention, apparently. Trigger One in has just said, oh, who is this? Is this, I don't know. Tell me who it is. Says, because cops are all racist, G. Oh, of course. My mistake.
Don't talk to MAGA assholes.
Why not? Why not talk to MAGA assholes? There's some MAGA assholes out there that are hilarious. They are. And there's some of them that genuinely just want to make America great again. You've probably got a lot in common with him. You've probably got a hell of a lot in common with him. I mean, I know Obama to you has been rebanded as a Republican, but there's millions of Obama fans that voted for Trump and wear a little hat.
We're almost there. But thank you. We are going to be visited tomorrow by some MAGA protesters. Is there anybody here who's done abortion clinic escort work? Awesome. It's a very similar operation to that, right? With abortion clinic escort work, you don't want to engage with the MAGAs. You don't want to engage with them at all because the priority is getting people in and out safely without them being harassed by anybody. So by you engaging with them, you are putting danger and stress on your comrades who didn't consent to that.
They didn't consent to you talking to someone. So if I was there and I was a delegate and I wanted to talk to a MAGA arsehole, I'm putting other people in danger. How? Explain yourself, please.
By all means, don't talk to cops if there are cops there for any reason at all, right?
It just goes deeper down, doesn't it? For any reason at all. Don't talk to cops. Any reason.
And if you do see someone talking to cops, let the marshals...
Let us know. Let us know. We're going to police your behaviour. If you're supporting the fascist state, then we're going to find out about it. Don't you worry. It's the same thing that always happens, isn't it, with these people? It's the same thing. But don't worry, it wasn't real socialism. We're going to get it right this time. It's democratic. Luxury communism. They're already there. Oh, if you talk to the wrong people, though, we will find out. Someone will tell us.
No.
It's just a reminder that we do...
Oh, no. Let's get to this one. This girl, I love this. This is brilliant.
Signs that reflect your vote in front of people?
Yes,
absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so now, is there any
I
further debate?
missed it there. Wait one sec.
On the Credentials Committee report.
Point of privilege. Can I reiterate that we, for the sake of our comrades who have sensory issues, refrain from hissing, loudly shouting out your opinion on a vote, or waving banners and signs that reflect your vote in front of people?
Waving banners or signs in front of people, something that they do constantly. You must have seen it on YouTube. But where's where's that? That could be triggering as well. You're like that, you're just there, like, in your weird mind space, because you're just barely hanging on. Because obviously you're surrounded by all these people and all this talk and all this noise and everything. And you're at the point where just clapping would send you over the edge. Just clapping. And then suddenly everyone's going like that. I love it!
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so now, is there any further debate on the Credentials Committee report?
That's it. This is just them talking about the credentials, man. And look, they are just defeated. She gives up after this.
Sorry,
Not long.
What's your name and
My name is Trey. I use they, them, and he, him pronouns.
My name is Trey. I use they, them, he, him. Isn't it scary? Isn't it scary that they're conforming to it? Maybe I don't want to give my pronouns. Maybe it's obvious that I'm a man. Well, not to some of you anyway. But you know.
I'm from Memphis. Thank you for asking. Nice to meet you. Sorry.
Nice to meet you.
I had a question. So, Nick? Jack? What is his name? Or what is his name? Nick J.
What is his name? We've already fallen down, haven't we, eh? What are you doing gendering someone?
Were elected as an at-large delegate before they resigned. Is that correct? No. No? Okay, then never mind.
Okay, to all 1,057 of my fellow comrade delegates, hooray, we are now seated in the highest decision-making body of the Democratic Socialists of America, and now we're going to move on to the resolutions and
Very
amendments
brief.
committee.
See. They've just finished talking about the credentials. They've let everyone know about there's a quiet room a few times. Listen to this. She's just trying to move on. She's just trying to get started. And obviously people can't put their hands up because then you just think you're going, yay. Look at her face. Look at her face. They defeat her, you know. She's defeated by the end of it. She just goes.
Very brief point of information. If you are using a microphone, talk into it directly like I am right now, and do not wave your face back and forth because people cannot hear you. That is all.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for the pointer.
She was fine! Look!
And now we're going to move on to the resolutions and
Very brief.
She's right on the mic. She was right on the mic. There was no problem.
Using a microphone, talk into it directly.
Look, she's right there.
Never mind.
It's insane, man.
Okay, to all 1,057 of my fellow comrade delegates, hooray, we are now seated in
Unbelievable.
the
Oh, let's get the next one up. Let's get the next one up because I'm enjoying these actually. It's so much more fun doing it with someone else. Oh. Right, there we go. What are we on? 20?
Very brief point of information. If you are using a microphone,
26.
talk into it directly like I am right now.
From Metro DC to strike the words ranked choice and replace them with a single transferable vote.
That's correct.
And then there was a motion to object from Trey from Memphis. Oh, he withdraws his. Okay.
Because you can't remember these. Everyone's standing up saying they, them, him. It doesn't matter. The human mind does, unless you have got like some weird sort of developmental thing where you just remember everything like that. You can't remember. It just falls apart. But him or she are not names that you give to other people. It's just a quick way. You'd see me and you'd probably say he because of the stubble. Or you'd say she if I had tits and makeup. Or when I had long hair, I got she a lot. Excuse me, miss. And I turn around and go, oh, okay. It's not a problem, right? If someone's, androgynous, you might say they or it or who knows what. But look, she can't even do it. They can't follow the rules that they're demanding of us. They judge you for not giving your pronouns. If you introduce yourself to one of these people and you do not provide your pronouns, they judge you as a bad person. You're not in the club. You're not in the religion. You've not been baptized with the woke water. And they judge you by something that they cannot even do themselves, as she said herself, at the highest level of the DSA decision making.
Object this. Oh, he withdraws his. Okay, objection. And now we are moving back to the amendment from Aaron from Metro DC about 2B13.
2D.
Yes, point of information, name, chapter, pronouns.
My name is Sam Lewis. He, him. I'm from the New York City DSA chapter. I was one of the members of the election subcommittee. I just want to make a factual correction, I guess.
Sorry, that's not a point of information.
Okay, sorry.
So a point of information is a clarifying question.
Okay.
If you would like to speak against the amendment, you may do that if you want to do that. Is that what you...
Would I do that right now?
Yeah.
As it says
Sure.
Okay.
in the video title, motions upon motions upon
Sorry,
motions.
what was that? I can't... Can you get to the mic? I can't hear you.
I have a question for clarification.
Yes. What is your clarifying question?
Thank you.
And what's your name, pronouns? I think I know you.
I'm Forrest, he, him from New Hampshire. My question of clarification is on how we're voting and on what. Specifically, if I understand that the committee recommended that either the BORDA or single transfers could be used, and I am deeply uncomfortable with so many of my comrades.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being sat there trying to follow this day? It's impossible to follow it after the event. Can you imagine being sat there following it? There's no structure to it. This is life without bosses. This is what happens after you've eaten the rich. This is what happens. And you know who sails in? A nice, tasty dictator who knows all the special words, who knows to give their pronouns before they speak, who knows to check their privilege, and who actually gets shit done. And all these spineless wet fuckers are the first against the wall. That's the way it goes. They don't want any of these people around. They'll all be gone. A couple of them at the table might survive. Maybe. I doubt it.
Clarifying
being uncomfortable with BORDA, and we could go with single transfer instead. Would I vote yes on single transfer as a vote for democracy?
Hold on, everyone.
They're trying to debate voting. Nobody has got the wherewithal to just say, this is how the day is running. No one's got it. They all show up for that weird speech about not talking to anyone. Oh, they all understood that. But now like saying, right, so this is the motion. We're going to take 30 minutes to debate for and against. But they're all coming in with amendments because they don't understand democracy. They don't understand organisation. Amendments should have been done before time or in a different manner to this. They're doing amendments on the fly and then amendments to the amendments and then more motions, and it's all coming in. This guy's coming in with trying to change the way they vote, which they do, by the way. Several times throughout the weekend, they try to make changes to just how they vote, which predictably is just chaos. Madness.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. No, it's
okay.
It's not.
So,
spoiler. Doesn't work.
So I will get to your question in a second. First, let's end debate, and then I will repeat what voting yes and voting no means. Is that okay?
If you don't know! I don't know if I've put it, but at some point, one of them just goes, is there any chance we could just have the motions up on the big screen there whilst we're doing it? Because if you look, it's just someone writing. I don't know if you can see that. It's just someone writing. It's like the minutes or something. And they're like, could we have the motion up there? But then the motion, and then someone asks for all the amendments that are being talked about. And even that just falls apart in its own way. Although they can't even clearly just say it. It's insane!
Pioneer Valley. Just a reminder that in Robert's rules, you can't ask a clarifying question. It has to be a point of information, and that has to be factual. Like, Freudian slip. You have to be asking a specific question that can be answered by the chair. You cannot be asking these more intellectual questions. Yes. Thank you.
So right now...
Point of personal privilege?
Yeah.
So right now, point of personal privilege, you have to stop for point of personal privilege. You have to. Everything stops. Everything stops. So whatever noisy prick you've got in there that just randomly, whenever they feel like it, this is what happens. This is what life's like without... You think you hate your boss? You think you don't like your job, you don't like your boss. Just wait till these fuckers take over.
People have been very disrespectful to our chair, and it's been kind of racist and sexist. I'd really like that to stop.
It's been kind of racist and sexist. It's not racist and sexist in the slightest, thank you very much. It's not. They've been disrespectful, yeah, because they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. They've no idea what they're doing. But it isn't racist and sexist. the fact that she's a woman, I assume, I can't remember what her pronouns were, and that she's of East Asian descent, doesn't automatically make any actions of disrespect against her racist or sexist. Because they're doing the exact same thing to anyone that stands there. It's quite racist and sexist.
Very disrespectful to our chair, and it's been kind of racist and sexist. I'd really like that to stop. It is very difficult to chair a convention with 1,000 people in here. Beth, you're doing an excellent job, so please be mindful of that. Thank you. Ashley, East Bay.
Okay, so right now,
She isn't doing an
there has
excellent
been
job.
a motion to end debate. There's
A motion to end debate?
been a second. This requires 2/3 vote to end debate. All those in favor of ending debate, raise your placards. All those opposed to ending debate, please raise your placards. Could I see that again? Okay, everyone who wants to end debate, please raise your placards.
Point of order!
Hold on.
Point of order!
That looks like I would call for division on that.
Hi, I am Andy P. From Los Angeles, they, them pronouns. Could I please ask the chair to, again, there was a previous point of privilege about waving around signs, that it is distracting to other comrades.
They were voting, mate! They were voting! They were literally voting! That's the whole, but they're not waving around signs. That was the vote, not the vote on the motion. The vote whether or not they should keep talking about the motion, of which most of them don't even know what they're talking about. They don't, they just stand up. I've skipped out so much of this. I've saved you from so much of this nonsense. But they're all just getting up and going, I don't know. Constant calls to start again.
I have autism. This is distracting to me. I would like to ask our fellow delegates, please, to not wave around your signs, especially during voting.
So, somebody needs to grab him and take him to one side. Well, mate, I'm sorry you got autism. You know, it's great. It's great you came here, and it's amazing that you could stand up and talk like that in this environment. As you said, it does trigger you. But people need to hold up their things to vote. There's a colour, it's associated, it's kind of, you know, that's just it's like, it's what we do. Like, people need to put the things up. And isn't it amazing that, like, hands don't trigger, but holding something does? It's a very fine line, very specific.
Thank you.
Yes. Please do not wave around your signs. Thank you.
This is Chris, he, him from Cleveland. We have not approved any rules to use an online voting system. Robert's rules does not allow online voting unless we approve a rule to do so.
So they haven't done it. They haven't voted. They're going to vote online, but they haven't approved it yet. How are they going to vote?
So is there...
Because what they've done is, to catch you up here, they all voted. They couldn't tell what it was. They didn't hold it up long enough to get a head count. You can just do it by paper, you know. It is possible. It is possible. This is how we do these things. Or you go into a different hall and get head count as you go in or whatever. It is possible. So because they didn't know, and this is just whether or not to stop debating. This isn't the motion itself and the various amendments that people have made. This is just them trying to decide if they should stop talking or not. That's all it is. They haven't allotted an amount of time and gone, right, that's it. You know, well, we'll have to carry this on at a future date or whatever. No, this is just them trying to decide whether or not they're going to keep talking or not.
Correct.
Chaos.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, so it is very difficult to count your hands.
Just wait till you're running the country, love. Just you wait. Just you wait to see how hard it's going to get. Oh! All kinds of problems.
So what I would recommend is to suspend the rules by 2/3 to use online voting in this one instance before we approve the rules. Is there a motion to suspend the rules? So moved. Is there a second? All those in favor of suspending the rules to use this online voting this one time before we approve the rules? Great. All those opposed?
I am. This is amazing. Do you think it's going to
Thank you, Chair.
work?
Nick, he, him, his from Twin Cities. This is on behalf of a delegate who's currently in the remote room. They say that it is very hard to see the screens and cannot get a URL.
Okay, so hold on one sec. So the URL is dsausa.org.
Which, by the way, I recommend you go have a look at that website. It's amazing. It's amazing. Go and have a look after. Not now, obviously, when we're done.
/vote 1. Rebecca, are you ready to share what's going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we've hit the OpaVert server too hard, and I'm going to go call Jeff.
Yes, what's your point of order?
It just says, they've just given up now. It just says technical difficulties on the screen. But somebody's actually just wrote that, technical difficulties. They don't even know where they are. They don't even know. And here's the thing, because of the chaos, and I can't stress this more than I have to. I keep stressing it. By the time they get to each point, because they just haven't got a fucking clue what's going on, people don't know what's going on. They don't really remember what they're voting for. We're not even going to get time to do all this today. I don't even know if we're going to get past day one. But people make constant demands to start again. And some of them work. They're like, yeah, let's just do it all again. One of them was like, I was on my lunch. He comes in, he's on his lunch. He comes in and he's just like, yeah, we need to start again. I wasn't here. They do!
Move to suspend the rules that we not do counts. We not divide the House on procedural motions. We are wasting more time than we would have had discussions. Let the chair simply use her best judgment.
Yes, there he is. That guy there. I wonder if that's the guy it sounds like him, the one that says, am I recognised? Because he's been there for, 4 hours at this point? This is really getting in there now, isn't it? This is hours and hours and hours. And he's just like, we're debating how we should vote. We're having a vote on how we should vote.
What the vote was, and either go on with the debate or not waste our time doing this.
Okay. So while we're, could we just try this one more time? All those in favor, and can we do another vote on calling the question? Please raise your placards.
Where is it? Oh, that one. Oh, we'll pass that one.
And
now.
all opposed? I think. Okay, we might have to use the online voting system.
Madam Chair, could I take a moment just to consult with our staff to see if we could get volunteers to count?
Yes, actually, okay, that's a good call. So,
Oh, guys, just
how many
paper. Go in a room. Do something.
Could I get counters to the front?
Point of personal privilege, please.
Yes, what's your personal privilege?
Yes, let's stop again, shall we? Let's stop again.
Okay, so I know that this is kind of annoying. I know it's taking a while, but we want this to be done right. We are a democratic organization. We want to do this right.
Yes.
I myself watched some of the counters not count some of the votes. And
The people going round weren't counting the votes, were they not? Well, obviously, you are correct, madam. You didn't make a mistake.
it may have been a mistake, but maybe we need to do this a different way. Maybe we need to have more time to talk about this.
That's what they're trying to vote on. Maybe we need more time to talk about this. They are trying. They are attempting to vote, and this is a very heavily edited thing here. We've edited out the whole counting bit, so there's a good 15-20 minutes just gone there, right? The reminder: they are trying to vote on whether or not they should keep talking about the motion, and she wants to keep talking. Do you see what I mean? It's like a family tree. It just keeps going out, and like fractals. You know, you just go in. It's just going in and in and in and in. Someone must have walked away from this and gone, oh, I kind of get... I get it now. I get why you have a boss now. I understand why all the workers don't make every decision for the... It just doesn't work, does it? Sometimes you just need to get on with it. Big order comes in. Shit needs doing. John, you're on that machine today. Look, I know, but we've got a big order coming in. Has to be done, mate. Has to be done. Come on, I won't forget you this Christmas. All right, come on. Who wants a brew? Let's get on with it. That's not what they want. They want this.
I just want this to be done right. I want every vote to be done right, not just this one, obviously.
I do too. Okay, so actually, if you're standing up, could you please sit down? Okay, in case anyone doesn't remember what we're voting on, we are voting on an amendment to the convention rules to strike ranked choice and replace that with single transferable vote.
They're voting on voting. They are still voting on voting.
I just heard a report that the electronic voting will be fixed after lunch.
I have a point of information for the vote counters. Do they want us to put our placards down after they make that eye contact?
Yes, that is correct. So once a counter makes eye contact with you, you should put your placard down. Okay, everyone.
Oh, eye contact. Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to go wrong.
By a vote, all the counting has happened. By a vote of 523 to 443, that passes. And so we will, sorry, if we could respect our comrades. Okay, so that passes. And so the convention rules, as at least right now, as amended, will strike ranked choice voting and replace that with single transferable vote. And so now we are moving back to the original motion, which is about the convention rules as a whole. Is there further?
Amendment?
Hold on.
Bria, she, her, Boston DSA. I urge you to vote against this amendment. The amount itself is arbitrary. Why 25,000? Why not 40,000 or 10,000? The cost estimates themselves are flawed. There's no oversight on the estimations, and they've already admitted that they accidentally added a 0 when estimating the restorative justice resolution, changing the cost estimate for direct cost from $6,000 to $60,000. Beyond that, frankly, it's identical in the spirit to the kind of limiting rule that the Republican Party uses to quash progressive legislation. We are a member-driven organization, but this rule detours the direction of the organization from the members to the staff. And we're socialists. We can and we must do better than this to recognize the membership of the organization. If this amendment is passed, it might mean that instead of making some costly but necessary changes, we settle for resolutions that don't actually fix problems, but aren't estimated to cost as much. I am the author of one of the resolutions that is above the threshold.
Oh, I'm sure you're the author of one of the resolutions. We've just had there that eye contact triggers people. Yeah, you're probably right, Mr. Kelsey one. Alex has said this is absolutely beautiful. Why don't they try Twitter polls next? Yeah, they should. Well, that's the other thing, man. They were live streaming this, so anyone could have logged in doing it live. And I'm sure I will next time it's going.
That would be limited by this amendment. That's the child care resolution. And I think that this is especially problematic because our resolution was not written with a post hoc arbitrary funding cap in mind.
Madam Chair?
Yes, you're recognized. Name, chapter, pronouns, please. Please.
Dag, he, him, from Eugene, Oregon. I move to amend the proposed rules to add debate on resolutions and constitution and bylaws changes shall be limited to 2 speakers in favor and 2 opposed.
You know what? My screen grabs have just been every few seconds now. So let's go to that one, see what that one is.
I was wondering whether the chairs or the parliamentarian believe that's the way to do it.
So check this out, right? At this point, they've realised that it's just fucking chaos. This isn't working, man. People are trying to get their attention because they've got to speak into the mics so everyone can hear, etc., etc. So they set up these mics on either side here that people come in queue. Do you think this is going to fix the problem? No. No, of course it's not. But I tell you what, I'm desperate for a wee. I can't believe we've gone another. Oh my God, it's 3:30. We're only on day 1 here. I'm going to keep going. I don't care if anyone's watching or not. I'm going to stop checking. I don't care. I'm enjoying this. So guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to have to do where's my thingy? There we go. Oh, that was nice. That was all right. You know what? I can't wait till I'm streaming every day, because I'd be able to do stuff like this all the time. And even if no one, it'd just be nice, wouldn't it? We could just relax about it. Because there's no way I'm going to get onto day 2. And there's some amazing stuff on day 2. I wonder if I can sneak it in tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow night. Sort of like around 10 o'clock or something like that. I have to tell my neighbours though, because I just, they're worried about, I worry about them just hearing me going, what? So yeah, let's wrap up day 1. Because I can't do this all day, can I? It's ridiculous. Remember, Trigger Warning said, remember to like the video, click the bell, share it all around. Yes, please share it. I'll get this up as a separate, I could have created a highlight, couldn't I? Can I get player time and then just pull it right back to when? Oh, there we go. There we go. I'll pull it back to there. Yeah, cool. And then I'll get player time in a minute when I'm done. Yeah, nice one, nice one. Right, yeah, I'll put this up as a highlight. It's gonna have to be tomorrow for day 2, isn't it? Because this is ridiculous. I can't just keep going forever and ever and ever. Let's have a little look though. One last little look before we go.
Or whether we should have people wait in line to call the question.
Your point is well taken. I heard a call.
See, I like this now. The other girl, they've broken her. She's gone. She's done. They've got this lady in. She's a little bit better. She knows what a clown show it is. But it's all just falling apart already. They brought the queues in. Now, what I really want to get onto on day 2 is the progressive stat comes in. So, obviously people start complaining about the queues. That's when they start doing it by race and gender and all the rest of it, and it just falls to pieces. It falls to pieces.
Question from the microphone back there.
Call the question.
Okay, heard another one. Take it as moved and seconded.
Thank you.
So the vote now is on whether to call a question on the amendment to the agenda.
They're literally the agenda for the day. You get the point. Jesus.
Yes. A motion to reconsider can only be made by someone who voted with a majority. Okay? A motion to change the agenda at this point would require 2/3.
I have a point of order.
Point of order? Go
Laura
ahead.
Shee, Portland, Oregon. I think the ruling on adopting the agenda was improper because many of the voters couldn't hear what was being voted on, and I personally did not hear the chair call for votes in the negative. So I think we need to redo that vote.
Let's do it again.
Okay, we'll re-vote on the agenda.
My point of parliamentary inquiry is I want to understand what happened. Did the chair declare that a motion passed, and then the chair declared that we would re-vote on the motion, and and then the chair said that debate was open again? Is that what happened?
The chair understood that people on this part of the room could not hear when the vote was called. So we're retaking the vote.
Peter Gowan, Metro DC.
Chaos. Let's move on. Oh God, this is so beautiful. Honestly, I just watch this shit all day long. You know, I do. I love it.
So the motion is to return that item, Resolution 30, to the consent agenda.
A point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Love it. I love it. I never get sick of them going, point of personal privilege, because they're the good ones. They're the really good ones. You know they are.
My point of order has been ignored thus far. My point of order was that we were in the process of calling the question on the consent agenda when somebody was trying to pull an item, and I believe that member was out of order.
Could I actually make a motion to suspend the rules and pass every single motion on the consent agenda in one vote?
Yep. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we fix time for adjournment.
I presume you mean for recess until tomorrow?
No, for adjourning at 7 instead of 5.
7 instead of
For
5.
this session. You're not talking about adjourning the convention.
No, said fixed time. No.
Okay. We're talking about then we're talking about recessing until tomorrow, that you're moving to recess at 7 instead of 5.
That's correct.
Okay. So,
That passes, by the way, and then when it gets to 5, they all just go, no, I'm doing it. No, but I'm doing it. I'm going home. Sod you guys. Let's get the next time up. Oh, 56. There we go.
Parliamentary
the
inquiry.
motion has been made and seconded.
Madam Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
Is this a motion to amend the agenda? What is this?
What is this?
Yes, it is.
Day 1, guys. Day 1.
Do we have a speaker here?
I have a point of information, actually. So we also at this.
Please identify yourself.
Rachel. Hi, I'm from here. I'm Madsa. She, they. As a point of information.
Guys, honestly, what is she, they? What is that? It always bugs me, that one.
And to make it through. The climate crisis is class war. One of the most exciting possibilities was forwarded by a DSA-backed candidate in an insurgent youth movement in the form of the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal proposes a 10-year mobilization that would effectively restructure society and the economy to serve working-class people. And it's so much more than a climate policy. It would create millions of high-paying...
Fucking working class people. You don't have got a fucking clue what a working class person is. Fuck you, man. Something Green New fucking... Do you know what? No, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you for that, but I can't take any more of these people. I watched hours of this yesterday, and that's it. I'm done. Thanks for joining me, guys. Just the mention of the Green New fucking Deal. It will create, or will it? How? How exactly will it do that? Well, you know, we'll just print money and give it to people who run green things. We'll give it to these people. That's what we're going to do. These people think that they can save the planet. Idiots. No, we're done. Game over, man. Day 2 tomorrow. I'm going to do day 2 tomorrow. Yeah. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. We've been streaming for like hours and hours and hours now. How long have we been on for? Long time. I don't know. But thank you. I do appreciate it. It's been alright, hasn't it? Thank you. I'll see you in a bit, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and all the rest of it. Oh, wait, what's going on? Can I get the player time? Yeah. There we go. Cool. I think that'll work. I don't know. We'll try later. I'll see you in a bit, guys. I love you. Bye-bye. I'll see you Tuesday with Hayden. Me tomorrow. Thursday with Hayden. How do you find the new set coming on, actually? It's alright, isn't it? Every time we come in, we like build a little bit more, and we've got all these ideas, and so we need to like, right, well, we'll do this, and then next week we'll bring this, and all the rest of it, and it's gonna be cool, man. All that stuff you can see around the desk will be a set. That's like the skeleton that we put things onto, things that glow. It's gonna be awesome. I'm genuinely really looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, I love you loads. I'll see you in a bit. Bye.